For cheap coins, head on over to FIFACoinZone.com and use Dirty at checkout for an additional 15% off on every single purchase. And if you're looking to pick up new games or more codes, The Witcher 3 just dropped. Head to G2A.com. Links are in the description. Use Dirty at checkout. Get that extra discount. What's happening, beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike, and welcome back to another instructions tutorial. I want to cover a few more formations. I felt like in the previous video, quite a few people seemed enlightened down below in the comments, so I want to go ahead and share my opinion on other formations that I see used and abused with quite frequently. If you enjoy the content, show some love, pass it around the community, drop some likes. Also, comment down below, what are your instructions? I'm trying to get back to everyone. And are there any formations that you'd like me to go over in the future? Let's do it. In the 4-2-3-1, you're focusing on crowding the inside, disrupting little tiki-taka passing in the middle of the pitch. However, your defense is going to get better and your offense sometimes takes a hit with only that single striker. And what I like to do is I tell all three center attacking midfielders to stay forward. Because if they start playing defense, you're going to have no counter. You're going to rely on just chip through balls up to your striker. And then your two CDMs, tell them both to cut the passing lanes and stay back while attacking. And it seems kind of obvious, but for those three center attacking mids, make sure you get players that have a little bit of pace and they are true center attacking mids if you want to have the easiest results and nice clear counter attack. Second formation, we're looking at the classic 4-4-2, and with the strikers, I don't normally make a lot of adjustments. However, sometimes I will have one striker with getting behind, which helps on counterattacks, through balls, and in the 4-4-2, sometimes they make more runs to the outside where you're able to get in behind down the wing, and that can be an easy outlet. And now with the left mid and right mid, if you're good on defense, I recommend telling your left mid and your right mid to stay forward and get in behind. It gives them a little more support when you're building up, and they're going to naturally drift farther forward. If you're not a good defender, it's somewhere you struggle, you might not want to make that move. Tell them to stay in their normal positioning, and they'll just hang out for you. Now, a big key that people make mistakes when using the 4-4-2, make sure one of your center mids is going to be defensive and the other one can be attacking, or you can do both center mids are balanced, and I would recommend having one of them stay back while attacking and then stay on the edge of the box for crossing. And with the other center mid, I normally will tell them just to hang out to do nothing. Play your balanced, and we're going to see how that kind of plays out. If you need to make adjustments, you feel like he's too far forward or he's not forward enough, you can make those changes. But for sure, one of the center mids needs to be somewhat defensive, and he's got to be staying back and outside of the box for crosses, because then he never pushes too far into the attack. Lastly, we have the 4-3-3, the first variation, and I wanted to discuss this formation because when you have three center mids, no CDMs, no center attacking mids, I think it kind of confuses people. Your striker, you don't need to tell him to do anything, but make sure you get a striker that has some size. It's a lot more natural in the 4-3-3. You're going to rely on him to facilitate, to be able to win some headers, some things in the air, and just those 50-50 balls. Your left wing, I always like having my left wingers, my right wingers stay forward, get in behind, and the same goes for the right winger. And if you're ever having issues with your players drifting too wide, you can also tell them to stay central. It creates a little bit of a different attack. I prefer to have that spacing. However, I've done things both ways, and I can see where there could be a lot of success depending on your playstyle. And now, what you've all been waiting for, the three center mids. And what I actually like to do is get three balanced center mids, such as a Yaya Toure type of player or a Leroy Fer. And I tell them all to stay back while attacking and to stay on the edge of the box for crossing. And you're like, whoa, why do you do that? Aren't they going to only play defense? And if you have true center mids, the answer is no. They will always drift forward on their own. You're not going to have a big issue with them being involved in the attack, especially if you're telling them to make forward runs. They'll be okay. But by having all three defaulted back to sitting back and staying on the edge for crosses, you're always going to have center mids that can chase back on defense. At least one of them will be able to chase back, and that makes it a lot more predictable when you're defending. If you can use a center mid to cut down angles, it helps your defensive back line so much. And if you're having a lot of issues in this formation, another option, sometimes I tell my left backs to stay back while attacking, and in my right back, excuse me, both full backs. And that's just so you have a very strong back line. You already have the wingers, so you might not need those overlapping runs, but that's just my opinion. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook at DirtyMikeUSA. And remember to hit me with some comments. I want to know your thoughts on instructions. Until next time, peace.